Kenny Clark, and this is Lombardi's Bar.
This is one of my favorite podcasts to do.
I'm just, blessed and thankful to be a part of this podcast. It's a great podcast. It's a great interview.
Maybe I know that you guys obviously being the best Packers podcast that's out there.
I had Malort this weekend, so I'm not tasting anything.
Oh, good.
He did.
God.
He did. That was fantastic.
Because it said, "Did you ever try Malort?" And I said, "No." And then I said, "Do you want to take a shot of Malort?" I said, "No," but I did.
Wait, who said
It's called peer pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tried getting a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, "Hey, just tell him he can't do it."
It shows. It really shows. I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show. Hello, once again, Green Bay Packer fans. How are we doing today? I'm your bartender, Dan Connick. Welcome into Lombardi's Bar. Chat already popping off. I love to see it. Everyone jumping in here. Make sure you say hello in the chat. If you are here for the first time, give us a little like, subscribe, review, whatever on the YouTube. Tell your friends about it. Share it. Make sure everybody that's a Packer fan is watching. And better yet, if you are unfortunate enough to have Bears fans in your life, share that with them as well so that they can, I don't know, maybe this will help wake some of them up from the trance that Matt Eberflus has put over the city of Chicago. We're here to help everybody. Yes, the Riz, it's super high. The victory chain is back. It's all gas, no effing brakes, right to the Super Bowl, baby. That is where we are headed. Let's bring these two guys in here with me. First off, it's Todd, our usual guy, and coming back just in time for the playoffs, friend of the show, making his triumphant return to the bar. It's Greg Larned. Greg, how are you doing, buddy?
It's good to be back, fellas, and we are not done yet.
Hell no.
Great victory on Sunday, and man, I'm pumped up. I'm always glad that when you guys ask me to come to the bar, I love to pull up a seat and get a chance to talk the Packers, because down here in Chattanooga, Tennessee, we don't get a chance to talk about the Packers as much as I want, but I do have a good bar story for y'all later when it comes to the Packers. We'll get back into that, but great to be here, boys.
Greg, it's great to have you. I always prefer when we get anybody besides Jimmy, but especially stoked to have you with us. It's been way too long since we've had you on.
Yes, it has. It has been way too long, but I'm glad to be back. And as you mentioned, you saved the special people for the postseason. I get it. I understand.
And we knew we were going to be here, so there was no sense in having you on earlier. There was never a doubt that this team was going to be here.
They were clearly saving Aaron Jones for a playoff push. We're saving Greg Larned for the playoff push here at Lombardi's Bar.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Oh, so guys, I want to get, because the vibe in the chat popping off. Absolutely love to see it. Thank God for the win, because I think I think it was Matt Schneidman put on Twitter that I think Packers Twitter needed this win more than even the Packers needed it. And for once in a very long time, the vibe all over Packers Twitter was popping off. Receipts were getting pulled. There's hype videos that are making me want to run through a wall. This is an amazing week. This is the best I think I've felt after a Packers game in, this has to be almost like 2 years now. I can't remember the last time I felt like this.
Sunday night on Twitter, I think I just laid there for 2 hours. Monty was emptying the clip with receipts. I couldn't refresh fast enough. It was phenomenal. There were a few people out there. Dan, I'm assuming you probably went to bed early on Sunday night after a long weekend, being out in DC on Saturday with your boys commemorating your big march on the 6th. So did you guys have a cookout, or what'd you guys do this year?
The trajectory of the show was running so high.
I know I had to knock it down a peg.
Like 1929, stock market going up, 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 and Todd comes in, Black Friday. Fuck the world.
Whoa, it's 2024, man.
Thank you, Emma. Can we leave Dan alone for one week? It is not my fault.
Yeah. The off season's coming up.
It was not my fault that the best win in Jordan Love's career so far happened a day after that day.
Your favorite day of the year.
Anyway, Sunday was just like I've felt we've seen so many of these kind of games on Sunday in the Aaron Rodgers era. And this one felt so different to me. Like this one just felt like I was.
Why do you think it felt different, Dan? Why did it feel different for you?
I think it's this whole season has felt different. Like there used to be this cloud that kind of hung over everything where it was like the Aaron Rodgers games, it felt like it was Aaron Rodgers pulled another rabbit out of the hat, you know? This felt like a brand new team just came together. Like this is act 2 of a Disney Channel movie was Sunday. Was the ragtag kids came together, won the game, and are making it to the playoffs. Like I assume tomorrow we'll find out that Jordan Love cheated on a test and he can't play and he has to come, there's a big climax at the end where he has to realize.
Didn't I just get yelled at for bringing the fucking showdown?
Damn, dude.
Jeez, talk about a downer.
Knock on wood. Everybody knock on some wood right now, Dan. Come on. Why you got to do that?
But yeah, no, it felt like this was like, it felt like watching one of those movies in real life where it was just like everything came together. Everyone's happy. And there was no downside of this. There's no expectation. You're going into a playoffs with no expectation. Before, every time you make the playoffs, no matter if it was 13-3 or you just skate in, there's an expectation with Aaron Rodgers that you should be going to the Super Bowl. And if you don't, that's one more year off the Super Bowl window. We're going into fucking Dallas against Mike McCarthy, and there's no expectations. We're just coming in happy-go-lucky.
I don't know. Did you see AJ Dillon's comments that they're not happy just getting in the playoffs? They're here to win a Super Bowl. Like that's what they're. I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying to an extent, Dan, but you're talking about this cloud and a negative connotation that like having Aaron Rodgers here making you an automatic Super Bowl contender year in and year out was a bad thing. I think this is just a different feeling for us because we as fans don't have that layer of expectation that like it's Super Bowl or bust. For a lot of us, it was in a rebuilding year to be able to be standing here in the postseason like we knew we would be the whole time. Never second guess, never faltered on that stance.
You're exactly right. Like it's nothing to do with the players themselves. Like the players will always feel like differently than the fans do, but it's totally that. It was this expectation that I had as a fan that you need to make it back. Like he needs to make it back one more time, and we fell short. Like what was it, three times in the NFC Championship since then?
Can I tell you something that's about to happen though?
What's about to happen?
Jordan Love just made the playoffs with this team in his first year as a starter. Guess what happens next year and every year moving forward? The expectation that you're going to not only be in the playoffs at the start of the year, but you're going to be a Super Bowl contender year in and year out. So like that expectation's not leaving for very, kind of like Mina Kimes said, like in 3 decades, we've had 4 or 5 weeks of quarterback uncertainty. Like we get a year of like,
so blessed.
Cool, no expectations in the playoffs. No expectation to make the playoffs. No expectations in the playoffs. Although I did say all year long I expected them to be in the playoffs, but just to like that's coming back next year. Like,
Sure.
great news, Jordan. You were successful this year. We now expect this every single year.
Yeah, and
sure.
he's got to live up to those expectations, and it's where again he's setting the bar, and like you guys were talking about, there really weren't a ton of expectations. I know, Todd, you just mentioned that you had expectations of this team making it to the playoffs. I had expectations that Jordan Love would play better than everybody would have anticipated following up Aaron Rodgers, because I think the narrative surrounding this team going into the season was, all right, you went from Favre to Rodgers. You can't possibly go from one really good future Hall of Fame quarterback to potentially another one. There's no all of these young players and all of these young pieces that this team has. The expectations, again, as a whole, again, I know, Todd, that you said you were a little higher on them than I think most people were, but I certainly wasn't expecting a playoff run. I wasn't expecting a playoff run, but I was expecting Jordan Love to play well, and I don't know if I was expecting him to play this well. And you saw it early in the year. There's a lot of ups and downs and highs and lows. And it was like, all right, Matt LaFleur last couple of years was trying to deal with Aaron Rodgers and trying to, strike a delicate balance between what he wanted to do and what Aaron wanted to do. And now it's just like, all right, now we're going to implement what I want to do, along with, okay, we have Jordan Love here. What exactly can he do within this offense? And it took a little time for them to figure it out, along with some of their young wide receivers. But I'll tell you what, boys, that young wide receiving core, I was really skeptical about them going into the season. They have way outperformed any and all of my expectations.
Yeah, almost to a point. Like Tom mentioned, the expectations. Yes, God forbid we enjoy this moment right now of no expectation. But yeah, it almost it almost feels like this is the best chance for this team to win a Super Bowl right now before any of these wide receivers, these young kids, realize any different, before they get into a sophomore slump of some kind next year. This whole team is hot. This offense is hot. Like, let's ride it for 4 games? 4 games straight to a ring, and go
Fuck it, 5 games, walk this whole team into the Pro Bowl, and just
take the whole team in the Pro Bowl.
Yep.
Green Bay versus everybody. Green Bay versus the league. All right, guys, let's jump into a little buy around, pay the tab here from our game on Sunday against the Bears this past week. Todd, do you want to kick us off with who you'd like to buy around for this week?
Yeah, I'm gonna go for my old friend Joey Badass, Joe Barry, doing what he does every single year, which is wait until the day that everyone expects him to be fired, somehow make it through that day, and then turn the defense on fire. And like the last couple of weeks, and again, this is when you want a team to be hot, want your defense to be playing at its highest. Unfortunately, they played very, very low for a couple of weeks before this. But the fact that this defense is coming out and unrecognizable almost. So I'm going to give Joe Barry a round there. I'm going to buy 2 rounds. Another one here for my buddy Zach. He's a Bears fan. He has been in the chat on and off here and there, mostly when we lose and when we're struggling. Zach really likes to jump in the chat. He messaged me today regarding Eberflus, the commitment to him moving forward. And he said, I've already decided to pull back on Bears fandom. If they don't draft a quarterback, I'm officially done. So I'm going to buy around for Zach and other Bears fans going through it right now. I just love to see it. Just drink up, boys. I'm always happy to buy Bears fans drinks when they're in misery after losing to the Packers.
Yeah, shout out to Drew and Katie on 97.3 in Milwaukee, doing the drinking from the chalice of Bear's tears on Monday. That was an excellent 5 minutes of radio. I really enjoyed
Very
that.
good.
Yeah.
Oh, and real quick, shoot, they're going on your tab. You know that. You know how this game works.
Yeah, the back to the Joe Barry thing again. I think it just, if nothing else, it showed that I think these players learned from past mistakes, and that whole front defensive front, no lanes for Justin Fields to run, no running game of any kind. Like, not that the Bears had much, but I mean, Justin Fields, there was, I think if I remember right, Justin Fields rushed 8 times, and I think about 4 of those were designed quarterback runs, like draws or powers or something like that. And he only ended up with, I think, 24 yards rushing, something like that. Like that was specifically in the game plan, was to get Justin Fields mobile. They kept him from getting out of the pocket. They sacked him 5 times. That whole defensive front did exactly what they're going to need to do this week against Dallas to be successful. So I don't know. I guess maybe that's a backhanded way of celebrating the defense and evading any praise towards actually giving it to Joe Barry. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm fully in the camp of if this team, unless this team wins the Super Bowl, I still don't want Joe Barry back next year. If they win the Super Bowl, I think it'd be a perfect time for Joe Barry to retire. Like that's
retire. Let's say we'll give
just
it,
go
we'll
out
give,
on a high note.
You're never gonna back into this again, Joe. Just ride off into the sunset, my man.
We'll give him a street in Green Bay somewhere named after him, and say, here's a gold watch and some peanuts, and we'll mail you the ring.
Yep.
True North brings up a good point here. The Packers still did have a linebacker trying to guard DJ Moore across the middle at one point. So
that's zone defense. That's how zone defense.
I know, works. But still, it's the look of third down of DJ Moore here, and
it's frustrating.
And Quay Walker 10, 15 yards behind him. John Shoup says an alley. Joe Barry gets an alley.
Yeah, I was trying to.
Isn't there like a service drive that goes up the back, like the back entrance of Lambeau? We'll give him that one.
No, that's too close.
Yeah, just something
I was
behind
thinking,
the scenes. Yeah.
Like that little on the backside of Stadium View where it kind of curves around.
Mm-hmm.
There's like that little half a block right there.
Right between Stadium View and the Jersey store.
Yeah. Whatever. No, not behind those. Go down that street, take a right. That little loop right there.
Isn't that Reggie White?
I don't think so. I'll look.
Todd.
We have a Reggie White Boulevard here in Chattanooga.
Oh, that's right, because he was a Tennessee kid.
He was. Yep. Went to Howard High School here in Chattanooga.
I'll find a street.
While you do that, Todd. While Todd scours Google Maps. Greg, who would you like to buy?
Yeah, I'm not gonna listen to you guys' portion of this anyway. So
that's fine, Todd. Take the rest of the show off, buddy. You did great. Greg, who would you like to buy around for?
I'd like to kind of double down on what I was talking about earlier, and I'd like to buy around for a couple of the young wide receivers with obviously Watson hurt and, Romeo banged up a bit. And we know Jay Reed has been battling through injuries. He's a war daddy, as Matt LaFleur once called him. So I'm going to buy around not only for Bo Melton, but Dontravian Wicks as well. I can tell you what, I know he's got the number 80 on his back, and I know it's a high praise, but damn it if he doesn't look a little bit like Donald Driver, just a tiny bit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was really fun to hear Jim Nantz pull that reference out as Bo Melton is getting tackled 5 yards behind the first down marker and ends up 2 yards past it for a first down. That's Donald Driver shit right there. Yeah, he is earning that. And then
He's
and
tough.
Donald Driver? He was a 7th round pick, right?
Yeah, he
I
was
believe
late.
so.
Donald 7th, Alcorn State.
Yeah.
Bo's kind of following, right in his footsteps there.
We find quarterbacks and we
Jaden
find good
Reed.
young wide receivers late in the draft.
Jaden Reed he might be like my MVP of the whole season for this team. Like as much as Jordan Love has been amazing, as easy to give to the quarterback that's been playing like that, Jaden Reed has come in, and there were 2 guys, 1 and 2, who were veterans. They've been here for a year, but Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs, he's almost basically come in and taken that number 1 wide receiver role from them by the end of the year. Like that is insane.
Yeah, I would say for a position that's been beat up, and you didn't get the production out of Watson that we thought we were going to. Dobbs just quietly goes about doing what he does. Jaden Reed stepping up like he did this year, phenomenal. Yeah, I definitely get where you're coming from on that one.
Yeah. Well, I just realized that my buy around was actually Jaden Reed. I didn't look at the screen sheet.
There you go.
I will.
Good foreshadowing.
There we go. Yeah, that's yeah. I mean, how much more do I need to say about Jaden Reed? Like, it just to see a rookie come in and have the wherewithal, like the just the knowledge of, like, he looks like Devontae Adams. He looks like a guy that knows how to play against these style of defenses right off the bat. It's insane. And yeah, like I just love the kid. I love Jaden Reed. I loved him coming out of Michigan State. I thought he would be a fun project. And yeah, I think I'll do a little addition on here instead of Jaden Reed to switch it up a little bit. How about Luke Musgrave coming in? His kidney basically 4 weeks ago spatchcocked, and comes into the final game of the season at home against the Bears. And I know he only got the one. They said basically he just wasn't part of the game plan because they weren't sure if he was going to be there. But I am looking forward to seeing what he can do this week. I think this is going to be a fun week for Lucas Musgrave this week. So yeah, I mean, let's just shout out the entire fucking offense. This whole offense has been fun to watch.
Hey, if we're just handing them out,
go for it, baby. Get it.
The training staff, everybody on the 53 had a helmet on at practice today. Well, I mean, the injury report's still this long, but everyone had a helmet on. Shout out to the training staff for getting the guys out there. Also, Brett Favre Pass is between the Jersey Store and Stadium View. When that curves behind Stadium View, that's still Brett Favre Pass, and it turns into Tony Canadeo Run. So I think that section there, the north-south portion of Brett Favre Pass, I'm willing to name that Joe Barry because it does go straight into. It's just it runs straight into the dumpsters behind Stadium View.
That's it.
Perfect.
What better place for Joe Barry?
Yeah, I think Reggie White is over. I think that's where Quick Trip is, if I'm not mistaken. Feels fitting. How about
I've got Google Maps open and nothing else going on.
Check it out. Yeah, check it out. Let us know.
You're right. It is. Yep,
hey, Dan, look at know your quick trips, buddy.
Yo, hey, shout out to my girl Melissa at Quick Trip 827 on Lombardi Ave. What up, girl?
I'm sure she's watching right now, locked in.
She's not. She's working.
Oh, damn.
Ooh, actually, not
pulled
yet.
Up on her phone.
She's on her way though. Getting ready.
Nice.
The best part about Todd is this is bullshit, but there is a 5% chance he is telling
This
the
is
truth, and
absolutely
this is
not bullshit.
absolutely accurate.
I believe you.
If Jimmy were here, he would back that up. And actually, when my sister and Alex and I went there when we were coming to see you, Dan, we stopped at that Quick Trip and we walked in, and I was like, "Hey, is Melissa working?" And my sister was like, "Stop talking about these people like she's your friend." And she walked around the corner and she was like, "Oh, hey, you." And my sister was like, "Stop it. No, no."
Hey, you,
Yeah.
this
So,
guy.
and I was like, "Are we friends?" And she was like, "Yes." All right.
We
So,
sure
We are now.
Chief.
Did we just become best friends? Yep.
yeah,
Matt,
there
I
it
would-
is. There it
Matt-
is. Alex right there can confirm.
Matt, I would like you to please call the Quick Trip on Lombardi Avenue and ask if Melissa is working,
Melissa.
if she's available.
Yeah, tell her I said what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump to the other side here. Pay the tab. I'll start off with this one.
Start us
here.
off, Dan.
All the haters, baby, line them up. Line up and pay alms. I am looking specifically at Jaquan Brisker and Richard Sherman. Jaquan Brisker, buddy. I'm glad you got the fumble. Pad the stat on the last week of the season. I'm very happy for you. But looking back and watching the highlights, I saw a lot of plays that ended with a Packer receiver putting his shoulder through your sternum and ripping your heart out like Kano. Like
nobody's.
It
Nobody's.
was bad. And then to double down on it and basically just come out and say that we only won because you weren't really trying is what I kind of got out of it, was that you were playing too loose, you didn't respect it, and basically saying if we had tried harder we would have won, which no fucking shit. Also, you could just be better. And then to kind of like call out, it's been this the whole year. Bears players, Bears management, Bears fans calling out Green Bay. And it's all quiet in Green Bay until the 60 minutes are on the field. And then all of a sudden, cheap, you get punched in the mouth and you have nothing to say afterwards. Tail between your legs, going straight down, pay the toll on your way into Illinois. And then I'd also like to follow up with Richard Sherman. Buddy, you're becoming a meme at this point. Like, no matter how much you backpedal, I know cornerback, amazing. I'm sure it was great. Amazing at the backpedal and the recovery, just like that time Devontae Adams burned your ass in San Francisco. But man, you called out Jordan Love as a bust before the season even started. And all this kid did was take the youngest team in NFL history to the playoffs. And so you're going to get called out about it every time now. And I would just recommend shutting up and taking your lumps, because there's no coming back from this. At least Adam Shine had the decency to try to say that he was wrong. But Richard Sherman, no. Hater. You're a full-time hater now. Goodbye.
Yeah, it was to come out and say, which let's remember, this Bears team, they're operating without a defensive coordinator because FBI ? So I can
forgot
get
about
why they
that.
might not have had some of the correct coverages in there. So be it. But to say, like, one, they were doing cheap stuff after the plays to try to get us called for penalties. You didn't get called for any penalties. You guys didn't have the heart to have a skirmish. There was no fight in anybody on that defense. And then to say there's nobody over there, they don't have any stars, after you just got cooked by Dontavian Wicks and Jaden Reed, who they aren't stars because they're rookies. But guess what? They're going to get to play you twice a year for the next 4 years, well, next 3 years now, they're going to be stars just based on what they do against that shit team that they have there.
Yeah.
So thanks, Brisker. Appreciate it. Like,
I mean, if we're not stars, what the fuck does that make you, buddy?
Yeah.
Like, and you know what, Todd? You mentioned the no fight. That kind of I think the Jonathan Owens hit on Justin Fields borderline. I can see it both ways. But did you notice how like almost nobody came up to do anything about it?
they stood there behind him and were like,
They
"Hey, man, that's not nice." I think part of that might have been they were in shock that there was no flag, which I was also like,
Sure.
But there's not.
I was a
Okay.
little surprised.
And I mean, Dan, I know how much you love and respect anything that the TV officials say. So Gene came in and said no penalty. He was already committed, but we've seen a lot less called
Yeah.
on these roughing calls. What got me with that is he clearly bounced his head off the turf,
Yeah.
then laid there, then got up and went on for 2 plays, and then they were like,
I don't even think it was 2 plays. I think it was 1 play.
and then they were like, all right, buddy, we got to check on you, and then was out for a play, which
He was out for a play.
Another side note, how is Nate Peterman still in the league?
The Peterman, baby.
like seeing that, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. Colin Kaepernick should still be in the fucking league. If Peterman can be in this league,
There was a small part of me that was worried that Nathan Peterman was going to come into this game and
Caleb
how
Haney
Caleb Haney, was going to Caleb Haney this thing and get it really close, and I was going to have to sweat out a Nathan Peterman fucking win. Yeah. All right. Todd, would you like to have somebody pay the tab?
Yeah. Let me go with a tough one this week. I'm going with me. I had some stretches this year where I was operating with loser mentality. And it's not who we are as people. I was pushing the play for draft picks narrative. I wasn't confident that this team was going to be in the playoffs. I was upset that they were winning games. That's not who we are as a family. That's not who I am as a person. It's not who I want to be moving forward. That's not who I want my illegitimate children to look back and see me making those comments. So I'm all in on a Super Bowl run. This team, they can't be stopped. Joe Barry, like I said before, has a defense firing on all cylinders. The offense is clicking. They're getting healthy at the right time. We've seen them do it before. Ride the road all the way to the Super Bowl. So I will pay the tab on that one. That was my bad.
Choo choo, motherfuckers. Like,
Yep.
The train is on the track. But you know what, Todd? I appreciate you being the big man and admitting that you were wrong at certain times this year, but only certain times and not all the time, and definitely not in the crucial moments, the heat of battle. Definitely not those times.
No, would never.
No. Greg, would you like to have somebody pay the tab after this week's game?
Nope.
Apparently,
That's Greg also is paying the tab. Greg might need.
Internet was
Maybe he
rough,
needs
yeah.
to pay his internet service provider tab. We'll
here,
get an answer from him on the backside.
So Andy Gilbert, the ISP needs to pay the tab. Andy Gilbert brings up Anders Carlson as a pay the tab. He brought it up a couple times. I'm willing to give a rookie, like a kicker is still a rookie. I understand, and I'm willing to give him still a pass as a rookie. If it goes into next year and these things are still happening, that's when I start to, uh, you know, that's when I start to have questions about his longevity as a Green Bay Packer. But this year, I roll with it.
Yeah, I think we all knew that this year was going to be rough with him. I mean, just based on what we saw from him in the preseason. Mason's first few years were pretty rough too. Like, but you've got the leg, you see the talent there. It's about getting him to figure it out and come around on it. And thank God he's got special teams guru Rich Bisaccia there coaching him on how to do this. Because I can't figure out what else he possibly does on this team. So
he catches a paycheck. He does that. Yeah. He never misses one of those.
He actually doesn't. I don't think cashing a paycheck is the right term anymore because I'm sure it's direct deposit.
Okay. Yeah, Andy, I know it'll be all right. It still sucks. Yeah. I mean, that's if there's if there is a great metaphor for this team, it's a rookie kicker where you don't know which way it's going to go. Like it could be right down the middle. It could be a complete shank. Like that's this whole team kind of operates. It's up and down. It's left and right. You're not really sure which team you're going to get, you know. Matt, Greg, welcome back, buddy.
Sorry, guys. Just trying to figure out some connectivity issues on my end.
It's all good. It's all good. So, Greg, I was setting the floor up for you. Who would you like to have pay the tab this week?
I'm going to have all of the Cowboys fans pay the tab this week because we're coming to Big D, a place we have not lost since it opened in 2009. They just better get their wallets ready because we'll be talking all kinds of craziness, all kinds of junk. This week about Jordan Love and Jerry Jones. He's got enough money. Let him pay the damn tab.
I got most the sentiments there. We know what you're going with, and I like that. But this is immediately what I thought of when he said connectivity issues. Parks and Rec.
I checked your symptoms online, and it says that you might have connectivity issues. No, sorry, Greg.
It comes with the territory of filling in for Jimmy. Great. You've got to have bad internet.
Yeah. But no, I think Greg is spot on with the idea of that the pressure is all on Dallas in this game. And if the Packers somehow go in and win this game, the pressure continues to be on every team that they play. Because this is I think outside of I think every division winner in the NFC, I think, has the expectation that they should be the number one seed at some point in this season, and they should be the NFC favorite. And so any wildcard team that wins a game, all the pressure goes to the incumbent at this point now. And I'm under the mindset now of that 2005 Boston Red Sox team. Don't let us win this one. Don't let us win this one. You better put us away this weekend, because if we win this one, we're going to win another one, and we're going to keep winning. And you get to the Super Bowl, and then anything can happen at that point. So you better put us away this weekend, Mashed Potato Mike.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to say if the Packers win, I will not get my mashed potato tattoo. If they lose,
you're gonna get
if they lose, the mashed potato Mike tattoo, the mashed potato Mike tattoo is still on, if the Cowboys beat the Packers this weekend.
But if they can somehow win, you're giving
It's
up.
not somehow they're going to.
Okay.
When they show up and do what they do and beat them, then I don't have to get this tattoo on my ass.
But like I think go back, like it's again just if you can beat Dallas, I think you can beat anybody. If you beat Dallas, San Francisco no longer scares me.
Look, there is a wonderful, wonderful NFL script just sitting there waiting to be written of the new regime of Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love go to Dallas and beat Mike McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go to San Francisco and they do what Aaron never could. And they beat the 49ers. And then they go to Detroit, who's at that point in time going to be the city's most likely going to be on fire if they win one playoff game, let alone two. But they're going to go in there and remind Detroit who still runs this division. You just had you finally won the division. You won a couple of playoff games at home. Great job. You are still our third little brother. We still don't think about you in a rival context. You are just, oh yeah, they're in the division still. Forgot about them. That's who you are to us and always will be. Like at that point, the storybook line for this team is phenomenal.
Yeah. And all the posturing aside and everything, if this team somehow wins a Super Bowl in Jordan Love's first year, I'm not sure I could continue
Slow down. Let's slow down. I don't feel good with that level of confidence. I don't feel good talking about this.
Okay. You don't want me to.
It feels like it feels.
Don't even want to go there.
To me, it feels like one of those things that they get blown out this week and this clip gets played back to us of like, these idiots were talking about this. Not that anybody fucking watches this anyways, except for the 8 people in the chat, shout out. But like, that's it feels like, I don't know. Let's win in Dallas. And then we do our Super Bowl talk.
Yeah, let's get past this first one first.
What I was going to say, Defective, if the thing happens, I don't know how I could continue living the life I currently lead. Like, my whole world would change and I would become the most insufferable prick on the face of the earth. And I'm just not sure how, like, by the laws of physics, I'd be able to remain in this physical spectrum I currently occupy. I think I might just kind of vaporize off into the universe if certain things happen.
It would be
she's excited. Kelsey's excited.
It would be such a long off season listening to Bears fans and Vikings fans talk about how we had 3 great quarterbacks and all of them only won 1 Super Bowl. Like they would. Jordan Love only has 1 Super Bowl. What do you think he's good? Like he started 1 year, only 1 Super Bowl. Trash.
Well, Todd, you understand this. You understand. Oh, there goes.
You should. Wrong choice, Dan. You should have talked to Greg.
Here's the thing. I'm not sure Greg followed the one rule of Lombardi's bar. I think he took the Broncos lightly. And that's just you can't.
We've learned. Look, I know it's the postseason.
The Broncos lightly,
and they're not even practicing this week. They are done. You still can't take them lightly. Not a chance.
Can't do it. We're gonna go ahead. We'll move ahead here into bar bets, and if we get Greg back in, that would be great. I understand he's got some connectivity issues to deal with, but bar bets are really straightforward today. I mean, simple player props. I don't.
Should we update the scores real quick since Matt went through all of the hard work
Oh,
to tally these up?
oh, please.
There has
do.
been
I
has
would-
been a change at the bottom. Not that
What are
I'm
you talking
concerned.
Wait, what
Not
are you
that I'm
talking
concerned
about?
with it. You were in last place not too long ago.
Yeah, I haven't been in last place last like 2 weeks.
I don't
I'm
remember.
like Joe Barry.
I don't remember
I
an
came
update from
on
like
strong.
either way. First place, me 70 points, knocking it out of
Super.
the park.
I didn't
Crushing
need,
it.
buddy. I didn't need to outrun the bear. I just needed to outrun Jimmy,
Well, and we all knew that was going to happen,
and
so.
I did.
Yeah. Then
So-
Dan at 40, Jimmy at 20. So, you were a ways back too. You made up some ground.
I was. That was it. The Panthers game. I think the Panthers game really saved my ass this season. Maybe, in fact, quite literally saved my ass. I don't quite know what I'm looking at in our show notes here. Matt has written out a whole paragraph about CeeDee Lamb, and I don't quite understand.
Matt
why.
did more prep for us right here than we've done for every show all year. Matt,
than
we
Jimmy has
appreciate
done
it.
for any show.
we appreciate this. We don't know how to look at stats. You put
I do.
factual information in front of us. We don't know what to do with this.
I looked at stat. That's how I make all my bar bets. I have Pro Football Reference like tabbed on my saved. What is it? Favorited? Something? Starred? Bookmarked. It's bookmarked on my browser.
Yeah. Let's bring him in.
Yeah, man.
Guys.
Thank you
Hello.
for doing homework for us.
Yeah, I got curious. I had some time at work. I was kind of slow this afternoon, so I got kind of curious about it. And knowing that one of the bets today was about CeeDee Lamb over under on 150 yards. Sorry to spoil that. For receiving yards, I was like, well, that seems like a lot. So I just real quickly here, I went through to see what his average receiving yards per game was this season. It's 102.88, and that is the same across the season, first half of the season, second half of the season. It's really consistent until the last 4 games where it kind of upped a bit, but that's really because he like just destroyed Detroit. He had 227 yards against Detroit, which is insane, of course. But because of that, his last 4 weeks, his average receiving yards was 124, but that's still well below 150. So that's just throwing that in there. Also, there's a question about Aaron Jones's yards, which is a bit more straightforward. So that's all that was. Also, just mentioning that, by the way, the CeeDee Lamb, he has only 4 games above 150 yards against the Rams, the Eagles, and the Giants. 3 games back to back, but then also the Lions one that I mentioned. So that's what I was talking about there.
So what would have been helpful, Matt, is if you would have DM'd me this information, just me, all year long. Not that it would have changed anything, because clearly I'm kicking ass at this. But don't share this kind of information with Dan or Jimmy for sure. They don't need it.
Going forward, it's you and me, Don. I'll let you know.
Appreciate that, Matt.
I mean, I would like to just say I saw all the same stats that Matt did, because that's how I looked up and decided on.
Yeah, sure.
yards.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Absolutely.
I also, yes, Emma, make sure everyone goes and listens to Hey, We Like Your Pod, because it's a banger podcast. Also, CeeDee Lamb put up 150 yards receiving last year against the Packers. So Jordan Love, over under 1.5 touchdowns this week. I'm gonna limit this. This is passing touchdowns. We're taking rushing out of it. So is he gonna throw for at least 2 touchdowns against this defense?
5 Bakhtiaris, yes. The way that he's been playing lately has been phenomenal. I don't know that there's like, sure, you've got Micah Parsons. But other than that, like, I think they'll be fine. He's not going to make Jordan Love not be able to play his game. He can throw on the run. He can throw off platform. They can operate off schedule. These receivers are getting more comfortable with him when he moves around a little bit. So absolutely. I see another pretty stellar day from Jordan like we've been seeing over the last month. 2 touchdowns, no problem.
Yeah. I would like to address everyone in the chat here telling me that the line is absurd. 2.5. This is a decent defense, guys. I understand that Jordan is hot and that's good, but you know who else gets hot against the Cowboys is Aaron Jones. This could easily be a game where Jordan throws for 1 touchdown and Aaron Jones rushes for 2, or Jordan Love rushes for a touchdown at the goal line. So I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiaris, and I'll go under here, just because I think the touchdown production, if it comes, maybe comes from a different angle.
You really going to try and make or break it this week?
Well, hold on. Now,
I'm up 30 points on you. Are you just going to go opposite me everything on 5?
Here's the perennial question. Are we counting postseason stats as part of the overall Bakhtiari standings?
I don't think we have in the past.
Okay, so I've secured my regular season silver
So then
medal.
let's decide right now what the regular season loser has to do, since he's not here to defend his, I would say, honor, but he doesn't have any of that.
I think he has to have another kid. Sorry, Jimmy. Or sorry, Dez. Sorry about that. But I know you're a champ. You're going to take it on the chin. Take one for the team. Stiff upper lip.
I don't think that's how babies are made, but I'll let him have one on his own. I don't need to be a part of this one. Jimmy can't do any more tattoos. Sorry, Andy.
Yeah, we can't.
Defective. Jimmy is. Dez has banned Jimmy from any more tattoo bets.
I want him to do the Waffle House. The stay in the Waffle House for 24 hours. There was a part of me that wanted to lose just so that I could have an excuse to try that.
Yeah, I'll find, because I still owe that one, so I'll find one. They just, everything around here stopped doing 24 hours when COVID hit, and then they realized when they opened back up that we don't actually need to be open 24 hours. Yeah, there's no reason for us to be here at 3 a.m. to serve 2 drunk assholes pancakes.
Well, the thing is, there's got to be some sort of food challenge or something. Make him eat something gross, bugs or something.
Yeah.
We should let his. Oh no, that's what we need to do. We need to ask his kids. His kids should come up with the challenge. What his punishment should be. That's what we need. That's what we need to do.
Hadley's the only one that would have any ideas, and she's too soft. She's soft.
Is she? I've never met Hadley.
Yeah, she would be too soft on it. We would have to feed her ideas and then get her. She's still too impressionable that we would have to be like, what about this one? Like, if you say anything like that, she'd be like, that's it. So
what about another tattoo?
Yeah, but you don't want him to do this, do you? No.
I like Iowa Joe's polar plunge. I say let's do that. Just have him go jump in Lake Michigan.
He lives on a lake, or right by one. So yeah, we can.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I think he does that then.
Oh, done.
Good luck, Jimmy.
I think he has to eat 48 cheese brats in 12 hours and then do the polar plunge.
And then do. Okay, now we're cooking with gas here. Now.
Yeah.
All right.
Nobody needs that. Nobody needs that. One, Jimmy can barely write, let alone read his own writing. No.
I'm slightly disturbed by how many of these challenge suggestions are turning into almost like Saw traps. Like it's starting to get a little dark and a little vindictive. Like the eating cheese curds for 4 days straight and not poo the whole time. Jesus Christ! Like, are we trying? We're not trying to kill him.
Would it be a bad thing though?
A lot. All right, let's get to the CeeDee Lamb one. Over under 150 receiving yards. I mean, if you're accusing me of contrarian, I'll say 5 Bakhtiari's over. I think he hits it. I think if this game is going to be won, it's going to be won in a shootout.
Yeah, that's tough because I feel like, I mean, has there really been a receiver against this team lately that's really torched them? Like they shut down Justin Jefferson. DJ Moore had some catches, but nothing like there hasn't been any crazy stat lines, right? That I can think of.
Yeah, but like also if you think about it, the last the last good quarterback they faced was Patrick Mahomes, who doesn't have a receiving core.
Right.
They've kind of gone up against a run of quarterbacks that either are not very good, like whoever the hell started for the Vikings, and have like a good wide receiver, or they have a good quarterback that doesn't have anybody to throw to.
Yeah.
This is the first time at home for Dallas on that turf. I just feel like
I'm gonna go 5 Bakhtiari's under. I don't see this defense beating people up or giving up that much yardage. He could I mean that's the thing. Like 150 is an insane game, especially in the playoffs. Like so even 100 like 124 in the touchdown, that's still a monster day. So I'm gonna say under 5 Bakhtiari's. I don't see CD getting that.
I'll go back here. Like Joe brings up the Panthers game where Adam Thielen and DJ Chark both came up just a few yards short of 100 yards each. So I think it's not out of the question. I think this is.
You're forgetting that Dallas also has a tight end who's probably going to eat the soft zone alive.
I don't know. I'm feeling a CD. It's my Bakhtiari's to wager. I'm
not trying to talk you out of it. I'm trying to talk myself into mine.
All right, let's jump over to maybe the closest one here. Then Aaron Jones over under 125 yards rushing against this Dallas team. He's had plenty of success, as Matt points out, in the 3 games. 127, 120, 111. Does he crack 125?
I'm going to go 5 Bakhtiari's under. I think if there's one thing that really stands out on this team, this offense has been different the last 3 weeks because of Aaron Jones. And so if you're Dallas going into this game, that's who you're looking to stop. It's because there's not a receiver that you can key off of because they don't have that number one guy. You don't know if Watson's playing. So you're just going to line up on the outside and match up how you match up there. They're going to key in on stopping Aaron Jones and forcing Jordan Love and these young receivers to beat them. So I think we're going to go under. I think he can still have a good day, but I'm going to take the under on 125 yards, 5 Bakhtiari's.
Okay. Let me look up because I had Aaron Jones versus the Dallas Cowboys, because those last 3 games are Aaron Jones' last 3 performances this season. His last 3 games, or his 3 games total versus the Cowboys in 2022, had 138, 107, 125. He plays great against the Cowboys, and he plays great against the Cowboys in Dallas. I think he is going to get heavy usage. I think he will crack 125. I will say 5 Bakhtiari's. So I guess we are just going to contrarian the whole way. But I just have a feeling. I feel this is the way this team is going to run this week. I think that they are going to try to slow everything down. And it just feels like Aaron Jones is playing with a different level ever since he came back the last couple of weeks. So not all-purpose yards, 125 rushing yards. I think he gets it done on the ground. I think this is a big Aaron Jones week. So I'll take 5 Bakhtiaris over. So Jimmy will take every bet that loses for 5 Bakhtiaris.
Yep.
As Greg wasn't here.
Yeah, he texted me before this and said that.
Any final thoughts, Todd, as we ended up wrapping
No, I do like what Corey just put in the chat, though. Deep strike right off the bat. We've seen this team come out and do that before. Would not hate to see if Christian Watson's back, find out right away if that hamstring can play the rest of the game. And if not, make it go out on top.
You know what I'd really like to see?
Mike McCarthy.
I'm putting this
topless.
out. What'd you say?
Mike McCarthy topless.
All I heard was the topless part, and I kind of got excited. I'm like, who'd you say? Who do I get to see topless? And then you said it was Mike. I'm like, I think first play of the game, go back to week 3 in Lambeau against the Saints. Run that play that Emmanuel Wilson and Jordan Love couldn't connect on. You're on turf. You've got the veteran running back. Jordan feels a lot more comfortable. Run that same play. There's your big strike. That's where you get it. Matt, Jordan, Aaron, put in the game plan. Get ready for it now. I will die if that is the first one. And yes,
promise.
Have to. Sure. Emma bringing up MVP Jordan Love. Shout out to him. We missed him. We overlooked that in the buy around segment, but kudos to Matt, or kudos to Jordan. If you saw his acceptance speech, it was maybe the most awkward thing I've ever seen. It was rough.
I think the one thing we're finding out about Jordan Love is he needs media training. That's been pretty apparent now that he's nobody heard him talk for 3 years, and now all of a sudden he's talking again. It's like, all right, bud, yep.
He's like Nell. He's never had human interaction before. He doesn't know how to speak. He doesn't know how to do, like, he needs to be kind of taught how to be a quarterback. He did, just doesn't.
What do I do with my hands?
That's what he has Jair for, though. Jair seems to speak up for him a lot. So
yeah.
Appreciate Greg.
Jair the fan. The random
Jair the fan. Yeah.
Which shout out to that chick. Some guy randomly ran up to her during a news spot, said that. Yeah.
Right. Like, if I was there, if I was doing that, I'm not sure I would pick up that that's who that was as I'm trying to do my job. Yeah. Shout out to her. No hard feelings. But is she wrong? Jair is probably a fan of the team.
Oh, I don't know.
Incorrect.
He doesn't want to be here. Hates it.
That's true. Shout out to Greg Larner for stopping by. Sorry that we couldn't get the internet stuff worked out and get to talk with him a little bit more. Hopefully we can have him on a little bit later because he's a great guy. Great Packer fan to talk to. Maddie, behind the scenes, pulling those stats for us. Everyone in the chat, another great show of chat. It was great. Corey's right. The Pack is back. Great to be talking about a Packer playoff game.
I knew we would be. I knew it.
You did.
Said it all season long.
Cheers, everybody, for Jimmy. Off doing whatever he's got going on tonight. For my buddy Todd, I'm your bartender Dan saying cheers. And as always, go Pack Go.